Hey, what's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So I'm just about to get into my analysis for this week, just doing my outlook. I've already gone through the pairs as usual to kind of update them and have a look to see what I think I want to pay attention to this week. So I'm just going to kind of go through them right now. So starting here on AUDCAD. So this is what I was looking for last week, right? So I was looking for the price to just continue to push a little bit higher up into these broken lows. But that didn't happen. It continued to kind of trickle down. I'm still gonna wait to see if this plays out, right? So if we get a rebound from where price is now and pushes back up to this level, then I'll still be interested in trading that level because of how it was broken. Equally, right now we currently kind of breaking past these lows, right? So if price continues to kind of push lower, right, and we get a nice strong daily close beneath, then I'll also kind of be paying attention for price to kind of pull back up into these broken lows just here, and then look for that continuation. All right, so just jump to the daily chart quickly. So if we get a nice strong bearish close beneath, then I'll just be looking for that pullback to these broken lows. Maybe, you know, I may pay attention to these higher lows just here, right? So kind of around this level, because you know there's some pricing activity that's happening there as well. So what I'll do, just stick a ray in here. Yeah, so let's jump to the forward time frame. Yeah, so I'll also be paying attention to kind of this area, right? So this is the entire area I'll be paying attention to. All right, so that's what I'll be looking for on AUDCAD, AUDCHF. So on this one, I believe this one is on the daily time frame. This level here is on the daily time frame. So right here, right? So these were the previous highs, right? So we had this high here being formed. That's the previous high that was broken very impulsively. We had this massive push up, push higher on the daily time frame, and it's kind of slowly, kind of correctively pushing back into these broken highs, right? And it's kind of at the area right now. So what I'll be looking for to trade this is potentially like on the 1 hour time frame, or I don't know, like lower time frames. I just want to see what price action does, right? If price kind of comes into the level, so if it pushes deeper into the level, right, it pushes deeper into the level and just kind of ranges, starts to reject for a bit, and then start forming a bullish structure. So start forming higher highs, right? Higher highs, higher lows. I'll probably look to trade off of like a retest of one of these structure changes, right? If we have that break in structure, then I'll probably look to trade kind of off of, you know, like if this is a structure level here and it breaks above, I'll probably look to trade off of one of these structure breaks here on the lower time frames, right? So I'll just be paying attention to this one kind of during the New York session to see what it does if a trade sets up. Give it some time to settle, I guess, once market opens, and see what price wants to do at the level, and then hopefully it starts to form some upturn structure, and I'll be able to get involved in that kind of continuation with the higher time frame overall trend, right? So even though, like, obviously on the daily time frame here we're obviously forming lower highs, lower lows, but the major shift in structure happened at around this level, right? So this was a major shift in structure after that massive push higher. So this level here is still valid for me. So I'll just be paying attention to this on the lower time frames to see if there's something tradable there. AUDUSD. So on this pair, what I'm looking for is basically, I just want to pay attention to it, right? So I have it highlighted as red purely because there's no real trading opportunity right now. A couple of weeks ago I was paying attention to the formation of this triple top, right, within this little range that started to form, and price, what ended up happening, price spiked above the level, spiked above the range, but then quickly broke back within the range, right? There was a long opportunity I traded last week, I think it was, because we had this kind of little trend line here that was being formed, and then we had this kind of little leakage of the trend line, which on the lower time frame formed a inverted head and shoulders pattern, and I traded this trade here, right? I took a long opportunity there, but price failed to break out of the range, right? That's what I was hoping to see happen because of the spike higher, but that didn't happen, right? We ended up just sticking within the range. So I just want to see what price does from here, and if there's an impulsive move or a nice strong change in market structure, so we start forming clear market structure in either direction, because this is kind of either a accumulation phase, right? It's just kind of collecting orders to break out in one direction or the next, right? And because of the kind of longer term uptrend, right, we have this clear uptrend that's being formed. I want to kind of see what happens from here, right? And you can kind of see even on the daily time frame, we're stuck in this wider range. It's not really, it's kind of just making equal highs, equal lows, right? It's not really making any kind of impulsive move in either direction. So this is kind of price action I want to pay attention to, because I just think something's gonna happen at some point because of this accumulation, and I just want to be part of it, right? So I'll just be paying attention to it to see if there's some kind of impulsive move, and if there is, then hopefully I'll be able to start making trading decisions from there. CADJPY. So on this pair, what I'm looking for this week is, well, actually not this week. I have it highlighted in red because it might take some time for this to play out if it does. So what I was looking for last week, so analysis is pretty much still the same, right? I'm just waiting to see if price wants to kind of correctively pull back into these broken highs here after impulsively breaking higher. And we're seeing that's kind of slowed down in price action here, right? Price is starting to move very correctively. And then this week we failed to make any new highs, right? So we had these highs kind of drawn in just here. We failed to break any higher. Instead, we started to actually form lower lows, right? And we haven't officially formed a lower high yet, but this is the last structure low just here, which was broken this week, right? So we had a lower low being formed this week, and I'm thinking we might actually see a lower high being formed, right? And we also, if you kind of look at the strength of the trend, we could probably just look at this one, right? We have that strength of the trend being broken here. It wasn't broken very impulsively, which is good. I just want to kind of see that slow kind of corrective move trickle all the way back, if it wants to, trickle all the way back into my broken highs here on the daily time frame. Hopefully get a nice confluence with the trend line, the higher time frame trend line. If that does happen over the next couple of weeks, that would be a nice trading opportunity there for me. But you know, it's asking a lot of price, which is why it's red. Just want to pay attention to what price does over the next coming days and weeks. If it breaks higher, right? So if structure changes and starts to impulsively break higher, then obviously I just want to look for that strong impulsive break, nice daily close above the highs, slow retracement back into the highs, and then probably look to trade that, right? Something like that. Look for that continuation. But for now, because we're failing to break highs and we actually broke lows here on the 4 hour time frame, I probably want to see that slow corrective move back into the broken daily highs. Euro AUD. So on this pair, what I'm looking for, so what I was looking for, or what I wanted to pay attention to, is to see what price action does, right? So if for me, if this was going to reverse, I would have liked to see a nice strong impulsive break higher, breaking out of this kind of corrective price action that we're seeing, a nice strong impulsive break, but that didn't happen, right? Instead, we respected the channel that's forming the correction, right? So we have this channel here that's being formed, and we're just kind of stuck within the channel, right? So that leads me to believe that this overall bearish market structure is likely to continue, right? So I'm thinking that we had this massive kind of sell move that happened over the last couple of months, and we're now just kind of forming this higher time frame flag formation to possibly start breaking lower. I don't know, that's just my guess, right? So what I'm thinking we will see is the second part of that scenario, right? So we might have that impulsive break lower. I mean, it may not be impulsive, but I'm thinking the next likely thing to happen would be breaking out of the channel lows to kind of form that bearish market structure continuation, right? Kind of forming this higher time frame flag. So I'm just paying attention to this one. There's no real trading opportunities here. I just want to pay attention to price action to see if it plays out. and kind of learn as I go, right? EURCAD, right, so on this pair, so this didn't quite set up. I mean, it almost did, right? I was waiting to see price pull back into that 50 level, but that didn't quite happen, right? It almost got there, but it didn't quite set up, right? So there's no trading opportunity there for me. I'm still gonna wait on the same, all right? I still want to get short on this pair, so I'll be paying attention to it this week just to see if it does set up, if it does pull back to that 50% level and gives me an entry reason of some kind, right? So a nice kind of reversal formation, something at the level, right? Then I'll be looking for that continuation, right? Back down to the lows. And then obviously, as I keep saying, right, I want to see price return to that point of origination there, right? So that's my whole reason for getting short on this pair. Right now, we obviously had that massive impulse lower, and we slowly having that correction, right? So I'm just patiently waiting to try and get short on this pair at some point. So yeah, it's just really a case of paying attention to it and trying to get an entry reason, right? So I'll just obviously be keeping that on my list and just monitoring it as price progresses. EURCHF, so this one obviously just still waiting for this to set up, right? So this analysis is still the same, just being patient, just quietly, slowly trying to do what I want it to do, right? If it does, then happy days. If it doesn't, then you know, that's all good too. But yeah, so just waiting on this to potential, I'll just get rid of this now. Waiting for this to hopefully potentially set up. So still waiting on that level to be tested again. If it is, then I'll be looking to get long on this pair, right? So we had that impulsive break past these previous highs. That was a shift in structure for me. Slowly having that corrective move back. Yeah, so just patiently waiting. Hopefully it sets up. EURUSD. So on this pair, all right. So basically, I think on the 4-hour time frame, this trade already, yeah. So here on the 4-hour time frame, this trade did play out, right? So I was looking for price to break higher, which it did. It slowly came, but it didn't slowly, but it pulled back into the level, gave that rejection, gave an entry reason, and traded back to previous highs, right? So that would have hit initial targets, and then the rest of the trade would have been stopped at break even. But I didn't take that opportunity because I believe it's set up within Asia or like late Asia session for me, and it wasn't an A setup for me, right? So for me to enter within Asia, it needs to be an A setup, but it wasn't an A setup for me, so I didn't take the trade. What I'll be waiting to see now happen on this pair is just a break of these highs, right? So I'll be looking to see if price, just delete this. So I wouldn't, this level as it is right now isn't tradable for me, right? Because it already did its job at the level for me. So I wouldn't be trading this right now. It's just testing it as support again, right? What I'll be waiting to see is hopefully kind of price, maybe range here for a bit. I don't know, do whatever it has to do. I want to see a nice impulsive break past these highs, nice strong clear break past these highs. Come back into the level, retest with rejection, and then look for continuation, right? That's what I'll be waiting for on this pair. Obviously, if it starts to break lower, which it very well might do, because you know this is a very impulsive sell compared to this buy, right? So this buy move is very weak in comparison to the sell move. So it very well might start to break lower, or it very well might kind of just range, right? Collecting orders, trying to make a decision what direction it wants to go. Whatever it does, I am only looking for buys because of this clear uptrend, longer term uptrend as well, right? So very clear uptrend on the daily time frame. So yeah, I'll just be waiting to try and get long on this pair upon the break of the highs, right? GBPCAD. All right, so this one almost set up this week. It didn't quite, right? It almost triggered my alert. Instead, I think it respected the 500 level. I don't know why I didn't pay attention to the 500 level. Let me just see. Coordinates. Yeah, so you see it paid attention to that 71. 1.71500 level, right? So it kept tapping it. Yeah, I should have traded the 500 level, but anyway, whatever, doesn't matter. I'll still be waiting on the same thing. If price pushes from where it is now, and pushes back into these broken lows, I'll still take an opportunity there, because that's still valid for me. However, if price starts to kind of trickle lower from where it is now and forms bearish market structure, then I'll look for trading opportunities to the downside within here, right? As long as it starts to make lower highs and lower lows, I'll look for entry reason during the week. I don't know if it will set up like that. If it does, then that's what I'll be waiting for, right? And then I'll be just looking to trade it down to these previous lows here. It may not be exactly to those lows, but I don't know, maybe anywhere kind of between this level, right? Those will be my targets. But I'd like to see these previous daily lows get tested. That would be the best entry for me. So yeah, I'll just be patient on this one. If it sells from where it is now, I'll just count it as a missed opportunity. It didn't really set up for me, so I can't really complain. GBPJPY. So this one, I'm just gonna wait to see if so this was the analysis last week, right? So I was looking to see price impulsively break past these highs, come back and retest. It did break past it. It didn't break past it impulsively. It just kind of pushed a little bit past, but then it quickly broke back beneath. I was now testing it as resistance, right? So I'm just gonna wait on this one. The clearer entry for me will just be still the same, right? Nice slow correction back into these broken highs. If that does set up, then obviously I'll take a trading opportunity at this level. If price does push higher, I'll just wait to see if price breaks these previous highs here impulsively. If it does, wait for price to pull back, then look for that entry opportunity for continuation, right? If this second scenario sets up, it may set up this week. This one will probably take quite a while to set up, right? So yeah, but I'll be paying attention. I'll be paying attention to it either way. GBPUSD, right? So this one, so this scenario here didn't set up, right? So it did push higher. Right, so it did push higher, but it didn't respect the level, right? So instead it just broke back beneath the level, and that's all right. So there's no trading opportunity there for me. I am still very, very interested in this level here beneath, right? So because that's the shifting structure there, nice impulsive break. So if price slowly trickles back to that level from where it is now, then happy days. Then I'll look for a trading opportunity there. If price does decide to push higher, then obviously these are the highs I'll be waiting for. So very similar to GBPJPY. So I want to see a nice clear impulsive break past these highs, slow retracement back to the level, look for rejection at the level, right? And then look for that continuation, right? GBPNZD. So this pair, I've got it highlighted in red because I want to see what price action does, right? So this already played out. I didn't take that trade. Let me just get rid of this. This level is no longer valid. Okay, so I believe on the higher time frames, if I just jump to the higher time frames, we're currently at this previous area of resistance, right? So this is a pretty strong area of resistance. So what I'll be waiting to see on this pair, right, is obviously a nice strong break past this level. If price does want to do that, right now it's kind of rejecting it, so it's seeing some resistance there. But I want to see a nice strong break past these highs, come back, retest it, and then look for continuation, right? Targeting kind of these previous highs here. If that sets up, that would be a nice trade for me to the upside, back to these back to these kind of levels just here, right? Obviously price could kind of just reverse from where it is now, but I wouldn't be taking any sell opportunities just yet. For now, I'll just continue to look for long opportunities. NZDCAD. So on this pair, I'm just kind of paying attention to it because I'm managing a very, very small position on it still. Right. Price is currently sitting at previous lows. Right. So sitting at these previous lows. I mean, it did break and close beneath on the forward time frame, but on the daily time frame, it wasn't a very strong close, right? It kind of has this, not a rejection wick as such, right? But it has a kind of long tail, right? So I want to see some continuation on the daily time frame. And if price does want to continue and pushes lower from where it is now, then I'll pay attention to this level. If price retraces to the level, I'll look for entry opportunity somewhere there, right? At previous lows. If that happens, then, you know, I'll be interested in taking out a trading opportunity there. NZDJPY. So this one, I'm thinking we're starting to have a shift in structure, right? So we had this previous trend line here, right? This previous trend line here that was broken this week. It is a very, very clearly respected trend line. And we're also seeing that we had a shift in structure, right? So this is a structural low here that was broken, right? So that's the last low, formed a lower high. We broke it. We broke this low. So this is your previous high. This is your previous low. This formed a lower high, and then we just broke this low, right? So we have this nice shift in structure happening here. We also broke the trend line, and we broke it very impulsively. And price struggled to kind of push back, retesting the previous low, right? So I'm thinking we might start to see a shift in structure starting to happen. So I'll pay attention to this pair this week just to see if it breaks past these lows. If it does break past these lows, then you know, I'll just be looking for price to obviously impulsively break past the lows and then slowly retrace, retest it, and then I'll look for continuation. Right, I was looking for price to kind of continue higher last week from where it was, but that didn't happen, right? Obviously, instead price just kind of pulled back and had that shift in structure. So if we start to form nice bearish market structure, then I'll start looking for short opportunities there. And then the last pair this week is going to be USDCAD. So this one, I'm still waiting on this to play out. This is still valid for me, right? I want to see a pullback into those broken lows just there. Price did push lower, right? But this is all very kind of messy and very weak, right? But I want to see price pull back up into these broken lows here, right? These broken lows here. If that happens, then that's a nice trading level for me. From where price is now, we didn't have that impulsive break, so I didn't take any trades there, right? So we didn't have an impulsive break lower. Let me just jump to the daily time frame to have a look. Yeah, so you see how that's all just very messy. So yeah, if price does push lower, it'll be upon a break of these lows, right? It'll have to be a nice, strong, impulsive, clear break of these lows for me to get involved in any short opportunities here, right? It has to kind of impulsively break past, just like how it broke past there. I want to see a nice, strong, impulsive break. Until that happens, then this kind of block area here. This is a trading level for me. All right, so I'll just wait for that to set up. Be patient on that. Wait to see if that does set up. If it does, then I'll take trading opportunities there. If price does impulsively break lower, right, then I'll look for short opportunities, you know, at these lows here, right? But it needs to be a strong impulsive break past these lows, slow retracement back, look for entry opportunity there, and then look for continuation, right? So yeah, that kind of wraps up the analysis there for me this week. There's no super clear opportunities that I could really identify. The market's kind of been a little bit choppy the last week or so. A lot of the pairs I've been paying attention to have been rangy. There's some opportunities that I've been able to capitalize on, but there's not been a lot presented for me the last 2 weeks or so. So hopefully, I don't know, hopefully markets start to break out into some nice trends, and hopefully I'll be there to catch some, right? But yeah, so that kind of wraps up the video there this week. Obviously, if you made it this far, thank you for watching. If you're not subscribed, feel free to subscribe. And as usual, if you think these videos would be useful to anybody else, if you like the way that I analyze the market and you think anybody can kind of gain any benefit from videos like these, then obviously just feel free to share it with them. Cool. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.